everyone, it's Xarin. Welcome back to my channel, Smitten Kittens. And in today's video, we're gonna be talking about paano magbenta sa cosplay convention or local conventions. So a while ago, when I was in the hospital, which if you guys didn't know, I was in the hospital for a brief while because I had air trapped in my lungs, a pneumothorax, so I had to get it surgically removed. And yun, I was in the hospital doing nothing. And I had an AMA, Ask Me Anything on my pages on Facebook. And a question that was asked to me a lot by my followers is paano magbenta sa conventions. So, I've been selling in conventions since 2006. My first exhibitor 2016. Okay, not 2006. I'm not that I'm not that old. I don't know if I was even in business then yet. So, I've been selling since 2016. My first event was Cosplay Mania 2016 as an exhibitor. So, I might try to find a video or a picture of that here. So, that's me, 2016 Cosplay Mania. That was my first exhibitor booth. So, I'm gonna answer, paano ba mag-sign up to be an exhibitor sa convention? Magkano ba yung table fees? What's the right table for you? Or the right stall for you? What are the do's and don'ts? And what you should have to prepare for your first table. So, if you're interested in that, please keep watching. So, for those na di po nakakakilala sa akin, by the way, I'm Xarin Suter. My handles are right there at the caption box. And I'm a cosplayer and a crafter from the Philippines. I've been crafting professionally, that means I sell my stuff, since 2013. So, I've been selling online for about 9 years. And, ayun, I also cosplay. Now, let's get to the topic at hand, which is boothing or having a table at a cosplay convention or an event. I'm only gonna be talking specifically about cosplay or anime-related events because I don't really have a lot of because I don't really have a lot of experience tabling at more generic sales events. I usually really go for cosplay, anime, and gaming events because those are the events that's related to my product. So yon, that's one tip. If you're gonna event or table at an event, make sure that it's an event that's relevant to what you're selling. So if you're not selling stuff related to cosplay, isn't the event for you, probably don't go to the events that I go to kasi hindi naman related doon yung products mo. So ayun, first things first, let's talk about event tables or exhibitor stalls. If you're watching this, you're probably interested in having one. Is it a good idea to have one at events? Yes, it is, especially if you have a lot of merchandise to showcase. And at the same time, it's also promotion for your store or for your brand. So, alam naman natin na when it comes to online marketing, you really have to set aside a budget for it. You have to set up marketing campaigns to make sure you're targeting your right audience. But if you go to a cosplay or gaming or anime convention, tapos your merchandise is related to that genre or to that niche, you're already reaching all these people that are interested in that in just one event. So apart from getting to sell your stuff, it's a good way to market your stuff and reach buyers that don't know about your brand or don't know about your online store. Going to get some sales and at the same time get eyeballs at your brand, market, promote your page, and get followers. So, now that we've talked about that, let's talk about the first step. Paano mag-apply? How do you get a booth or a table to begin with? First and foremost, you have to apply. bihira yung event na ikaw yung i-message nila at i-invite ka nila na, hey, pwede ka ba magbenta dito or pwede ka ba mag-sponsor or exhibitor. From my experience, bigger events don't usually do that. It's the smaller events that go out of their way messaging people looking for sponsors or exhibitors or sellers. Exhibitors and sellers are kind of the same term. But if it's a big event, like in the cosplay world, cosplay mania, OSIN events, etc., they don't reach out to people individually. Instead, they'll make a post on their social media pages and say, hey, we're looking for exhibitors or interested exhibitors, please email us here. The post will usually include their contact details, mostly an email address. So this is a sample marketing post or looking for exhibitors post from Cosplay PH. Ayan. And you can see that it includes their contact details. Yung iba naman, they have a Google form link. They don't leave their email address. They'll link you to a Google form and you can type your details there. And then they'll get back at you with more details or payment details later. And that's it. If you contacted them, filled out their form, sent them an email, after that, all you really have to do is wait for the reply. They'll usually reply if one, whether or not tanggap ka ba, because yung iba sinasala pa nila yung exhibitors. They're gonna check out what you're selling and see if it ba sa event. And then two, they're also gonna reply with the payment methods. And then it's just a matter of paying for your slot and then that's it. Magiging exhibitor ka na. Congrats, you secured your table, you're gonna have your first table or your first booth. Now let's talk about the types of table or exhibitor spaces that you can sell at. First off, there's the fanfare, artist alley. Cosplay PH tends to call it the fanfare area. OSIN tends to call it artist alley. They also have a cosplayer alley for cosplayers who want to sell their merchandise. So these are usually only tables. You don't have a shelved booth. Means wala ka nung may poste tsaka pader na space, yung lamesa lang. And this is the least expensive space that you can get in cosplay conventions. These typically range at the 6,000 to 8,000 range. So a bigger event like Cosplay Mania in 2022 sells their fanfare table for 8,000 and their lesser popular events or their smaller events sell it for 6 to 7,000. So that's just a range. Don't quote me on it because prices might change next year or whatever year you're viewing this video on. Always ask them directly, contact their marketing if you want to know exact prices. So yun, these are for people who produce their own works, whether it's art, fan-made merchandise, or original merchandise. You can be an artist, you can also be a cosplayer, or an idol group. Basta you're selling stuff that's produced by you, your group, or your organization. You don't always have to be a solo artist or a solo cosplayer. A lot of people split the space. Naghahati-hati sila sa rent, so it's more affordable. The general rule here is you just sell stuff that you and your company made. So, hindi allowed yung selling ng, say, official merchandise, figures, things you didn't make. Especially stolen art and bootleg stuff, that's a no-no. So, Fanfare Alley, if you're selling your prints, your stickers, posters of art that you made, cosplay prints, cosplay merchandise, handmade stuff that you made yourself, you and your company produced it. So the Artist Alley is a perfect place for you. What about if you're selling stuff that you're reselling or you're selling bigger merchandise? We'll go on to the next type of space that you can rent, which is the exhibitor booth or stall. Ito yung booths na nakikita nyo na malaki. Yung may poste, walls, ilaw. And these are typically 2 by 2 meters or 2 by 3 meters in size. And the price range goes for around 15 to 25,000 depending sa size and depending sa event and sa organizer. What can you sell here? Typically, anything na takes up more display space and stuff you didn't self-produce. So, yun, figures, official merchandise, props, or toys that are really big and take up space, hindi ka kasya sa table. If you're a bigger company that wants to do marketing, this space is also perfect for you. And then the next space that you can sell at is the food stall or the food space. This is the most expensive space to rent sa conventions. They typically go for 30 to 60,000 depending on the event. We usually see the usual suspects here. In local cosplay events, we usually Poland, a milk tea place, minute burger. It's the usual suspects. So yun, ganun kamahal yung binabayad nila for those spaces. Now, let's talk about kung ano yung mga bawal ibenta sa events, especially in relation to adult or NSFW works. When it comes to NSFW or not safe for work items, they don't always have to mean that it's adult or porn. It's just that they're not appropriate for young children. The general stance of events is you're allowed to sell them, but you're not allowed to display them, and you're especially not allowed to sell them to kids or minors. So, events in general, cosplay, gaming, and anime events are family friendly. You'll often see adults bringing their toddlers, their kids, or minors in the event, so we have to be careful about selling NSFW goods. What you can do if you're selling those is print out a sign. It can say, NSFW works available, ask for assistance. Yun, just put up a sign and then put it on your booth, stick it somewhere. And if may magtanong, you can point them there and show them a catalog that has the NSFW works. Don't outwardly display it where kids and minors can easily access it. One thing that artists also do is they display let's say it's a sexy print or a sexy artwork, but they're gonna censor it with a piece of paper, a post-it, or a sticker, and just censor the parts that are too sexy or too revealing, takpan nyo lang. Magazines do that a lot in Japan or overseas. Takpan nyo lang and then you can display them. So yun. And when you're selling them, you may want to check if the person buying is a minor, if mukha pa silang bata. And then, if they are kids, just don't sell it to them. That's the general rule. Now, stolen art and bootleg works. So, stolen art is generally frowned upon and don't do it. Just don't do it. Especially if you're gonna be at the artist alley or fan fair tables, you're gonna sell stolen art. Your neighbors and co-sellers will probably catch on to you and they will not like you and they will complain and they will tell the organizers and you'll never be able to sell at their event again, most likely. So yun. So it's generally frowned upon. Don't do it. Don't even do it. And bootleg merchandise. In contracts or in the exhibitor's manuals, these are actually not allowed, but madaming nakakalusot sa events. So when this happens, you just have to report them yourself. Tell people that it's bootleg, it's fake. And then, as buyers or consumers, just don't support it, don't buy it. So ayun, now that I've discussed the types of spaces you can sell at sa conventions and kung magkano sila, hopefully you already have an idea of mind kung magkano yung investment and if you really want to push it. Now I'm gonna answer some other frequently asked questions or tips na people ask for when it comes to selling at events. So first question, paano mo malalaman kung gaano kadami ang stock na dapat mo i-prepare? So newbie sellers ask this to me a lot sa cons. The answer is I can't really answer you because I'm not familiar with your merch. I'm not familiar with the demand ng tao. And it's something you only learn with experience. I've been tabling since 2016, like I said, so medyo gamay ko na kung gaano kadaming taong ma-attend at a specific event and then how much or how many of my products move or sell. One thing you can do is utilize your online social presence or your online shop Obviously, if you notice that something sells better among your online items, sa event, you're gonna stock more of that. And then slow movers, you might want to stock less of that. One thing you can also do is open up pre-orders online and people can pick up their items sa event. That way, you also get a real-time report on what people are actually want to buy for the event. So, yung mabenta sa pre-orders mo, you may wanna stock it on hand din sa event. And of course, it makes sense na if there's a specific series, game, or anime that's trending currently, you may want to stock more of that because that's what people are looking for. I know people always say, nakakasawa naman, puro Genshin yung merch sa events. But at the same time, it's trending, people buy it. So you may want to stock more of that. I do make varied merchandise at my store. I also sell stuff that's not from mainstream series, not from what's popular. And they do sell, but they don't sell the most. Yun. So my advice is make a mix of what's popular, the things you really like, and other series, other items. So you have a good balance on your table. That's my advice. One thing you definitely have to note though is you have to have enough stock para mabawi yung puhunan mo. Baka yung puhunan mo for the table is, let's say, 7,000 yung rent, 3,000 yung logistics, food, Airbnb, and expenses. So, 10,000 na puhunan. And then, yung merchandise that you're bringing is not even worth 10,000. Edi, pagdating mo pa lang doon, for sure, hindi ka natutubo. So, bring enough stock to turn a profit. You know what I mean? So, yun, you have to have enough para mabawi yung puhunan, pagod, and all this stress. So, yun. So, whatever you're selling, at least make sure na it's enough to make your money back, break even, and then some. I usually calculate yung puhunan ko. That includes the booth, rental fee, logistics, which means yung biyahe ko papunta doon, Airbnb, Grab, if I'm carrying a lot of items, yun. Transpo, food allowance for me, people I have that are helping, like staff. And then yun nga, yung accommodations, Airbnb, materials that I bought and invested just for this event. Kasi everything na gastos mo, yun yung puhunan mo. It's not just the table fee that you have to consider. You have to consider the entire effort of just being able to sell there. Write it down, list your expenses, and then make sure you have enough merchandise or stock para mabawi mo yung cost na yon at least. Next question, what setup should I do for my table? I also can't really give you a specific advice on that unless I know specifically what you're selling, but personally, I do a setup that just utilizes the table space. I don't really build vertical space or yung display na pataas because my products are handmade, usually costume jewelry pieces, cosplay pieces. So my table is usually set up latag style. That means everything is eye level and customers can see everything equally. Another advantage of that is usually I can talk to buyers directly. Yung pag may vertical space ka, like harang na grid, mahirap makipag-chikahan sa buyers. And one thing about selling handmade costume jewelry or costume props is may charm na pag ikaw yung maker, yung crafter, you can tell buyers na I made that, I can tell you what it's made of. You know, that human connection helps sell something faster than if they're just staring at it tas walang nagbebenta. I also have a friend, hi Kevin, who's really great at sales talk. So, yung sales talk, chika, yung eye contact, I value that. That's why usually linanatag ko siya and I don't have a lot of obstructive vertical space on my tables. If ganun yung merchandise that you're selling, maybe cosplay prints and stuff, yeah, especially if cosplayer ka, you'll probably be in cosplay, you'll want to interact with fans. Yeah, they might want to get pictures taken with you. It does no good for you to build a vertical space, like a literal wall between you and the buyers. You'll want it to be as open as possible. But if you're an artist dealing mostly in like stickers or paper prints na usually magkano lang yan. Mayroon pa kang 10 piso na sticker ngayon. Yun. So, you have to sell bulk. You have to sell a lot of it. You have to make a lot of it. You have to display a lot of it. So, you can see na paper artists, sticker artists usually really do build vertical space. So, they can display all their stuff. And it's kind of like making a candy store. You draw more people in, the more you display. Kasi mawibili sila and they're gonna look around. So when it comes to building vertical space, just look up wire grids on Shopee, Lazada, or your preferred selling platforms. Meron din sa Divisoria if you're able to commute there. But if you're just gonna look online, look up wire grids and also look up wire grid connectors. I made the mistake of buying a wire grid that's massive, like isang metro na agad siya. And then the difficult thing is, it's mas mura siya, but it's difficult to transport. So I suggest buying wire grids na maybe smaller and just connect them with connectors so it's easier for you to transport them, carry them, or commute with them. Next question, which events do you recommend I sell at or table at? I can only speak from experience when it comes to cosplay, anime, and gaming conventions. The event that suits you really depends on your target audience, your merchandise, and what you're selling. So my merchandise is handmade cosplay accessories. So I'm going to go to a convention that really focuses on cosplay, anime, or gaming. Kasi target buyers ko is cosplayers or people who just like fandom items, who are into these things. So you won't see me at StickerCon, you won't see me at Comiket because the products just don't fit there. If you do sell paper merch, art prints, comics, you're a good fit at Comiket. You should be at StickerCon, Sticky Expo. If you sell toys, figures, or collectibles, definitely try to get into ToyCon or something like HobbyCon that really focuses on selling those stuff. So, kung ano man yung product mo, try to find the right event na alam mo yung target market mo will be attending those events. So, medyo napapahaba na tong video na to. Now, we're gonna talk about some of my final tips for selling at a convention. First off, very important, prepare food and water for your exhibitor table, your booth space, for yourself, for your staff. So, minsan, if madaming tao, nangyayari nung hindi na kami makatayo sa booth because we're busy selling, I really recommend you bring your food and water before you even head there. Especially yung tubig, because dehydration is serious. We've had events where exhibitors passed out, they had to be taken by an ambulance because they were dehydrated. And sa cons, pag dumami yung tao, like pag nag-i-ingress ka sa umaga, you're setting up malamig, pero pag nag-open up na yung hall at dumagsa na yung tao, hindi mo naramdam yung aircon, then you start sweating and getting thirsty real quick. So, bring water and bring food. Next step is use a POS app. So, POS means point of sale for those who aren't familiar with it. Kahira ako dati, so I'm familiar with the term. So, it's an app or a system that records your sale at the point of sale. So, pagkabenta mo. This is much easier than recording things manually, which means isusulat mo sa papel kung ano yung binili, magkano, etc. It's so much easier. The app I use is called Sobase, Sobase POS app. Just gonna put that here in the caption. It speeds up the process kasi pag may bumili, tap mo na lang kung ano yung binili nila. Makikita mo doon kung magkano, i-input mo kung magkano yung binayad nila, tapos sasabihin na sa'yo kung magkano yung isusukli mo. And then you can even print a receipt if you want to. Some POS apps have that, yung may option ka to print a receipt. And a good thing is, at the end of the day, you have a record of every sale, including yung magkano yung binayad nila. And you can also have a detailed record of your sales for the entire event. Like, ano yung pinakamabenta, anong oras pinakamadaming may bumibili, what stocks move the most, ano yung na-sold out, ganon. It's been really useful, so The one I use, Sobase POS. Sobase POS app, and this is not a sponsored post. It's also a free app. You don't really need to buy it. If you want to buy it, do it and support it. But you can use so much out of it with just the free version. So really, I recommend that one. And last tip, and the very important tip, is be courteous, be respectful to your fellow sellers. Charan! So the sellers are not really your competition in a way na kaaway mo sila. And it's a big misunderstanding about the seller community. Like, hindi kayo nag-aagawan ng buyers, hindi kayo technically nag-aagawan kayo ng buyers, you're at the same space. But at the same time, healthy competition is great. And also, if you do have a problem, it's usually the seller community that's gonna have your back then. And usually, yung other sellers are your first customers. Before the event opens, we already look around, umiikot na kami to see what other people are selling. And some of us sell so we can buy stuff from the other sellers, honestly. So yun, it's a healthy community. At the end of the day, we usually trade freebies or trade items with others just as a sign of goodwill. If you need help with displays, kung kailangan mo nga magpasukli, anything, usually it's the other sellers that are gonna help you and have your back. So yes, they're competition, but hindi sila kaaway. You're not enemies. You're both just trying to sell here. You're probably fans of the same stuff. So yun. So never be rude to them. Don't be disrespectful. Don't encroach on their space. This is super important. Huwag mo haharangan yung selling space ng iba. That's really rude. So yun, be respectful to your fellow sellers, be courteous to them. So that's about it for this video, I think, when it comes, and everything I can say when it comes to selling at a convention. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section down below. If you also have any other tips or advice that you want to give aspiring sellers, if seller ka din like me and you want to give your own tips, feel free to drop them din in the comments. Baka may makatulong tayo dyan. So, yun. And if I have a lot of questions or things people are also curious about, I might make a part 2 of this video. So, yun. So, lapag nyo lang yung comments, video requests, or suggestions nyo dyan. And I'll try to make a video about it. Again, I'm Xarin. I make videos about cosplay, crafting, and occasionally online seller life like this video here. If you're into those topics, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. So see you guys next time. I might post my convention schedule and my pages, and you can figure out what convention I'll be attending next if you follow my socials. And that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope it helped you. Happy crafting!